One more time. Introduce yourself one more time. I cut it off for that. I'll let you go after this.
Lawrence Hamm, People's Organization for Progress.
Listen, we were just talking about Earl Faison, and
Yes.
today is Justice Monday.
Yes.
And normally on Justice Monday, you for the last 279 consecutive Mondays, P.O.P. and yourself were down in Newark protesting on behalf of other minority men, black men who are victims of police abuse of power, overuse of force, and exertion of force. And my last count, I'm thinking it was 19, 20? There's a lot of them here, just in the state of New Jersey.
Right.
So we hear about George Floyd.
Right.
We hear about Earl Faison.
Right.
But there's so many, many more.
Oh yeah, there's a George Floyd in every community. There's an Earl Garner. Saturday was the anniversary of the death of Earl Garner. Look, Earl Garner was strangled. I said Eric Garner. I said Earl Garner. That's a piano player. Eric Garner was strangled to death. Warren Lee was strangled to death on Sherman Avenue in Newark. You know, George Floyd, died in a chokehold. We got George Floyd's all over the state. So police brutality is still rampant, and it's not getting any better. There's been a lot of smoke, but no fire on police reform. Like everybody, all the politicians, everybody marched, said what terrible thing happened to George Floyd, but we have yet to get the legislation passed.
And I want to hit you this one last thing.
Police Review Board with subpoena power. See,
I was saying how I think that Steve Jobs should get a Nobel Peace Prize for the iPhone because everybody can record now. But I've heard that police have, it's like a chess game, right? You make a move, they make a move, counter move, counter move. And that police now, their tactic is when somebody turns, I turn on the phone, they're recording them, they start playing some kind of music.
Yeah, because YouTube.
Yes, won't play copyrighted material.
That's right.
Think about that, Larry. Think about the deliberateness and the mentality that goes into.
We're in a struggle.
Yes.
We're in a struggle. We are struggling with the police right now on this question of community control of the police.
Yes.
And the first step toward that is Police Review Board with subpoena power. That's why they're fighting so hard against it. So I think we should have a memorial. I think they should name a street. They named a street after the officer that was killed.
Yep.
They should name a street, Officer Carnegie, and I don't have no problems with that.
Yep.
But they should name a street after Earl Faison. They should paint Earl Faison's name. They painted Black Lives Matter in this town where a man was tortured to death. Did his life matter? Like everybody was like trying to do hands off. I remember, I went through it. Oh, he wasn't killed, He died, he fell off the chair and died. That's what they wrote in the police report. And the coroner said that he died from asphyxiation. But, and you talk about George Floyd, Earl Faison died essentially from asphyxiation. But they should put his name, they should paint his name on the street. They got Black Lives Matter on the street, they should put Earl Faison on the street. I was in Teaneck with the sister of Philip Pinnell, Natasha Pinnell. Philip Pinnell was killed by the Teaneck police back in 1990. The city planted a tree with a plaque with Philip Pinnell's name on it in a city park.
Nice.
They should do that for Earl Faison.
They should do something.
In Orange, New Jersey. They could do a bunch of things. People want to do what's easy.
And I don't want to,
But we got to do what's right, not just what's easy.
I don't believe in giving us a pass. When I say us, I mean African Americans, black people. Orange is a black city. Black mayor, black council members, black people, black cops, right? Even though most of the cops who killed Earl Faison was not black.
There was 4 whites and 1 black person.
One black. And I think the black guy's still working, right?
And the black officer, according to the deposition, is the one that put the barrel of his gun in Faison's mouth and said, I should blow your effing head off. That's in the deposition.
Yes.
That's in the deposition.
But should I expect more from, like you said, paint the name, and like you said, put up a tree? It seemed like it would be so simple to do.
Yeah, but they don't want to do it.
Well, what?
They don't want to do it. I hope, let me tell you something. They would do it if there was a group of citizens in Orange that would press them to do it.
Really push, you gotta make them do it.
And I'm gonna say this. When we were marching for Earl Faison, there wasn't a whole lot of support from the people in Orange, New Jersey. Now, the kids is the difference, because the kids came out and marched with us. When I say kids, I mean young people.
Like who was just here.
Right, like Muta. Some of them were young adults, 18, 21. Some of them was high school, some of them was college. The first marches we had, hundreds of people came out. But as time went on and it was clear that this was going to be a long, drag-out fight, you know, we would have demonstrations right at the police station. The people in the community that surrounded, because that station is on Lincoln and Tremont. None of the people wouldn't come out. They wouldn't come out their houses and support us, you know. And I'm going to tell you, if you'd have asked most people, they would have told you the cops are not going to be found guilty.
Yes. Listen, I got into an argument. Really, I was ready because somebody kept telling me why do you keep playing that Earl Faison? I mean that George Floyd. They play it too much. It's like desensitizing people. I said, you're crazy. I said, without that video, that dude will walk.
That girl, I forgot her name, the one that took the video. She's the one that should get. Well, they did give her a nominal Pulitzer Prize, right? She deserved it. Because without that video, there probably wouldn't have been a conviction.
At all. And that's why I want to say...
Remember, there was a video for Rodney King, and there was no conviction.
And listen, but that also, once again, that tells me, and I don't want to compare apples and oranges, because oppression and pain and hurt is pain and oppression, and there's nothing that's more better. But like you said, there was no video of what happened to Earl Faison.
No.
That happened because of the family, because P.O.P, because of what you guys, and you had the long drawn out fight, you guys hung in there. And so to me, it's kind of even more of an effort.
That's right.
More of a victory.
It took us almost 4 years to actually get them cops into the jail. To actually get them in the jail. They moved the trial to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We put people on buses. We didn't go to Philadelphia. We went to Camden, to the Ben Franklin Bridge. We got off them buses at the Ben Franklin Bridge and we marched across the bridge into Philadelphia and packed the courtroom. And the appeals court upheld the guilty verdict in the Faison case. And I believe they did so because we filled that courtroom. They probably had never had a trial where the courtroom had ever been filled before. Like that.
And I want, when you were mentioning that bridge, I kept thinking about, we always celebrated Edmund Pettus, the Pettus Bridge. But I mean, and that's rightfully celebrated. But like you said, you guys did it too. And and you've always talked about how you got to tell the story, but you also have to do the work. And you got to do it over and over. You can't just have the one Edmund Pettus. You can't have the one George Floyd. It's going to be on and on and on. Because dude, this thing with the cops, I mean, think about the mind that sat down and came up with that. That was deliberate. They really trying to find a way to get around that video's being posted. Because even they understand that without that video, he'd have got off.
Across the country, the police do not want any form of civilian oversight.
No.
They got too much power. And I'm gonna leave you with this. 1 out of 5 of the people, of the 800 people that seized the Capitol of the United States on January 6th, 1 out of 5 were either police or military.
Yes.
It's a very dangerous situation in this country today.
Well, may I ask one?
No, I got to go.
But is it really this country?
I got to go.
Think about it. Everybody in the South who seceded, that was all treason and traitorous. They should have all been hung and shot. But they didn't get hung and shot. They broke them back. Come on back in and go back and repress them Negroes.
Well, there are 500 that have been charged, I think. 525. It's going to be the largest justice operation in the history of the United States. Now, I don't know what they're going to be charged with. If they was 500 black people, they'd all be charged with treason.
Yes.
And life imprisonment.
Yes.
Probably not for them. But some of them are going to jail. Some of them are going to go to jail.
Which is rightful, because it's on video.
Yes.
Right? We talk about the social media age. Come on.
And they videoed themselves.
Yes.
It wasn't even like somebody was secretly videotaping them. We here at the Capitol, we tearing the doors off the hinges.
Right.
We going to get Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
They built can you imagine if black people went to Washington and built a hangman's noose? A gallows? They built a gallows.
Yes.
They were going to hang Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi.
And they said it. And I wrote a paper saying, thank God these racists are so brazen and stupid. They just put it out there.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to wonder about where their motives came from.
No.
They tell you.
And now the House is going to have this special committee to invest. I'm glad they did it. And I don't care if they don't have any Republicans on the committee. There has to be some centralized collection of all the information that you can possibly garner. This should be written down and never documented and never forgotten. And they're not finished. They're going to try it again. Mark my words.
Yeah, they're going to do it again.
We're headed for a collision in 2024.
Okay, they want some.
Yes.
Right? They really want. Man, I'm going to stop.
I got to go.
But thank you very much, Larry. I hate to keep fighting, but that's why I pick it.